has done a lot in his NFL career and has plenty more to prove and to do for himself personally. But he made this list among 25 players that headline as the most intriguing going into the 2025 NFL season. It's a list that The Athletic put out over the weekend, and there's some names here that, in terms of placement of the most intriguing, I think are a little interesting. So I'm just going to rip through, there's 25 of them. I'll rip through like the top 15. So Aaron Rodgers is number 1, Travis Hunter, Myron, who you brought up earlier, number 2, Mahomes at 3, Josh Allen 4, Lamar Jackson 5, Micah Parsons at 6, Jayden Daniels 7, Saquon Barkley 8, Shedeur Sanders at number 9, and Sam Darnold at number 10. So then you go beyond the top 10, it's Aiden Hutchinson, Ashton Genty, Caleb Williams, Jalen Ramsey, and Bryce Young. What stands out to you initially from when I read those 15 names, maybe omissions, maybe placement? Where do you go?
I mean, I don't necessarily get the intrigue with Josh Allen, and maybe even Lamar. I mean, we kind of know what they are. We know what the pressure is, trying to get to a Super Bowl, all those things. But when I think intrigue, I think of a player who could go sort of either way. Could be really great, things that kind of fall apart, polarizing maybe. I thought Shedeur would be higher considering all the buzz around him and everything that comes with Shedeur Sanders and the hype. So that was a little surprising to me. But I agree with Mahomes being pretty high. I don't want to say there's something to prove with a guy who has that many rings, but we're measuring him against Tom Brady. In the last 2 years, I think you can make a case that he wasn't the best quarterback in the NFL in those 2 years. So I do think there is some intrigue attached to him.
I'm just surprised that he's not number 1 on this list because of what I had mentioned. I'm watching here in our studio in Bristol. Kansas City got dominated in the Super Bowl last year. It wasn't anywhere close to being a good game by any stretch for KC. But for Mahomes and all of the rhetoric around the Chiefs this offseason, have they fallen off? Are they going to win the AFC again? Are they going to get back to the Super Bowl? I would think you'd put him at the top of the list for this very reason. Aaron Rodgers is not the most intriguing player in the NFL, and I think we keep trying to make him that because he keeps changing teams, because he never lived up to the promise of being transformational for the New York Jets. So we're going to give him another chance to do that with the Pittsburgh Steelers and hope that it goes different. At 41 years old, you're not expecting that he's going to be MVP-level Aaron Rodgers again. You're not even realistically expecting, for most people who look at this rationally, that given the state of the AFC, given the state of Aaron Rodgers and what we don't know, that this is going to be a team that gets to the Super Bowl. I don't know why we keep doing this. He's not the most intriguing player. We know what he is. Intrigue to me shows you there's another level that somebody needs to get to, or there's something about their game that's unknown. When you know everything about a player, that's not intriguing. That's a fact. That is, I expect this to happen. I expect Aaron Rodgers to be a good quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I expect it to look the best that it's looked since Ben Roethlisberger retired, because frankly, it can't get any worse. But to call him the most intriguing player in the NFL, maybe producers think that, here at ESPN Radio, here on ESPN. I mean, we talk about him ad nauseum, but I don't think from an actual context standpoint, he provides much that actually backs the word intrigue and what it means.
I don't know if he's necessarily top 2 most intriguing on that roster. DK Metcalf coming off the season with injuries, going to a new team. What is he? Do we finally get the best DK Metcalf, a healthy DK Metcalf? And if we do, what does that mean? TJ Watt with a new contract, can he stay healthy going into his 30s? Or will they regret that deal? Obviously a generational talent, one of the greatest players of all time defensively, but has had some injury issues. So I think there's more intrigue with those guys on that roster. To your point, we know what Aaron Rodgers is. We know what he brings. We know what kind of player he can be at this stage of his career. And I just don't see a lot of intrigue there. But certainly a number of other quarterbacks on that list should be higher than him.
Nuno, our producer, is deleting names off this list on my screen here in real time. Are you doing that because that's like you're narrowing the list of the people who should actually be there?
Yes,
Yeah,
because
what are you doing there?
Like Jared, Javonte's not here. Everyone knows Javonte's a Lions fan, but Jared Goff, is he intriguing? Like,
yeah, no intrigue there.
Aiden Hutchinson intriguing? Like, no, I love
Hutchinson is a little bit.
I love Malik Neighbors. He's great. He's outstanding, but he's not intriguing because he'll be intriguing once they move off of Russell Wilson and play and start Jackson Dart and seeing that. But like, let's talk about Kyler Murray and I think the huge year that like he's a quarterback that could potentially be on the move at the end of this year if it doesn't work well, right? Like that, Bryce Young, and what happens there? He could earn a contract extension after we all thought he was done in the NFL. Like that's intriguing to me.
And somebody else that falls right in that mix, Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Is he good? That's what the Bears are trying to figure out. Like, we know he's good. Can he be good enough for this team in this offense to get the Bears their first playoff win at some point, whether it's this year, whether it's next year? I don't know. Their first playoff win since 2010. Is he going to be a franchise quarterback? To me, the level of intrigue around the quarterback situation in a place like Chicago that has not had a franchise quarterback in 80 years makes him rise. I would have put him top 3. I would have probably had Patrick Mahomes at number 1. Travis Hunter, I think, is perfect at number 2 because he's such a unicorn, and I want to see, can they do what they've said they're going to do and use him on both sides of the ball? How much will it be snap-wise each game? How effective will he be? I understand, that's a question that will take a whole season to figure out. But then for me, Caleb Williams is number 3 because he's the number 1 overall pick from 2 years ago. They brought in a brand new staff. They brought in players and on the offensive line, to his weapons, to everybody else around him to make it work. If you don't make it work, or if you do, that's going to be the story of the NFL season. Did they do right by their number 1 overall pick in Chicago? And that, to me, is the most intriguing part of the whole experiment. Did they actually get it right at QB?
Like, Courtney, I'm rethinking this. After what you said, I've just been looking at the list. Doesn't Caleb Williams have to be number 1? Like, for all the reasons you just mentioned, like, if we're talking about total intrigue in terms of unknown, there are so many people who think Caleb Williams is a guy who's fallen short after just 1 year. You bring in Ben Johnson, the quarterback guru. What does this mean? You put more weapons around him. I think all eyes are on Chicago. I mean, Mahomes is intriguing because we haven't seen him play to the level that we expect from him over the last couple of years. They just got destroyed in the Super Bowl. But again, he's still viewed as the best quarterback in the game overall. Travis Hunter's intriguing in terms of what he can handle, like what kind of workload can he deal with. But the talent, there's not intrigue there. We know how good he is. We know that he can play at this level on both sides of the ball. With Caleb Williams, there are still so many unknowns, and he's so polarizing that I think there's a strong case that he could be number 1 on this list for sure.
I hear where you're coming from. The reason I would still have Mahomes at number 1 and I had Williams, if I did my own list, at number 3 is because the expectations for each quarterback. No, the expectation for Patrick Mahomes is Super Bowl every single year. There is a different level of pressure that comes with it when that is your bar, because you set the bar there yourself, getting there in multiple consecutive seasons and the way in which they lost last year. Are we, like, if it looks bad, then the questions come in. Are we starting to see the fall off, the drop off, the decline, however you want to phrase it? So that's why, for me, with Mahomes, it's because he's in a class of his own. Nobody else is chasing those same level of expectations. Caleb has to get his team to a winning record first and foremost. Like, you got to crawl before you walk, which is why I would have him a little lower than that, but still top 3 because we don't know what he is. Like, and he's supposed to be a transformational quarterback. Shedeur Sanders on that list at number 9 is fighting for the number 3 quarterback job right now. That's not intriguing. The only thing intriguing about him is the buzz that his own fans have created for him. Nothing that has any actual intrigue from a football perspective as of right now, given where he is in the pecking order of that quarterback battle. But we'll get back into this. I'm going to open up the phones a little later on. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Go on, call it now. Get on hold. Who is the most intriguing player for you ahead of the 2025 NFL season? We're going to get into that. Plus, I'm taking over. I'm over it today. I am very excited about this. I've got a lot of personal gripes I need to take out with all of you on the radio airwaves. But first, Myron's going to tell you about this from Midas.